Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Another episode here of America Did What to Who? America Did What to Who? Well, if you haven't heard or have heard, I've been watching the White House Task Force briefing every day because I don't work. Well, nobody works, right? Nobody. Well, most people aren't working. So if you're not watching the White House Task Force briefing every day to get up-to-date information, I don't know what you're doing. I guess you might be spending time with your family, maybe looking for a new job. Hopefully, you got your stimulus check because I did. I'm already looking at buying something. What I've been wanting to buy anyway, but I got stimulus check. I know I said I probably uh, I did buy something like this with the plates and everything, and it happened to cost about 1,200 bucks, but that's all right. I'm gonna spend the 1,200 bucks that I get on something else, or just a little bit of it, just a little bit of it. All right, but I am gonna get something, and yes, it's somewhat firearms related, but I think it's good for me and good practice for me. It's gonna save me a lot of money, save me a lot of money, and I'm finally going to get to train with my AR-15, or yeah, pretty much my AR-15 rifle. So, anyways, so America did what to who? America did what to who? So, yeah, it looks like America will freeze right now, currently freeze and hold any donations, maybe even all donations to the WHO. So, at the time when this first started breaking out into China, I remember how China was, you know, blaming everybody for being racist, xenophobic. I remember that. They were demanding an apology from every country that basically banned a flight to China or coming from China. Um, they were demanding apologies from. Uh, they were demanding apologies for anyone who talked badly about the Chinese government, about the coronavirus, about how they're handling the coronavirus. They were insisting that travel to and from, I'm talking about just the government of China, the ambassadors all over the world, were insisting that it's safe. It's safe to travel to and from China. They were insistent on that. But yet, when you saw what they were doing in their own country, in China, all right, when you saw the Chinese Communist Party, the government of China, what they were doing within their own borders, lockdown, right? I mean, lockdown. Not like they weren't asking people to social distance, they were welding people's doors shut into their apartments or their homes or whatever. They had labels on the doors. I don't know what they said, but it probably said, you know, coronavirus, Wuhan flu virus infected, or something. They didn't have a name of it at the time. They probably themselves called it the Wuhan flu. All right, I don't know. I don't read Chinese, so that was just an assumption, a joke. Sorry about that. But what they did do was real. They they literally locked down a city of, I think, a million, 11 million, 11 million people. And not only that city, but all of China, they pretty much locked down. They blocked off the roads. All right, you couldn't get from one province to another province. They set up road blocks. All right, and you were turned away. If you were not allowed to pass through, you were turned away. So this is while that was going on in China, the ambassadors all over the world who represent the Chinese Communist Party were insistent that it is safe. It is safe to travel to and from China. I remember watching an interview with the ambassador to Australia. It was embarrassing to watch this guy tried to tell the Australians that it was safe to travel to and from China. There's no reason for a travel restriction. This is when Australia put a travel restriction on China. It was embarrassing to watch this guy make a fool of himself. I don't know who this Chinese ambassador is, but it was embarrassing. Um, and well, that's what was going on, and I'm talking just about China. And during that time, I do remember the WHO um, basically saying that, let's not blame China. Let's not stigmatize China or stigmatize a certain region or an area or a group of people um, about because of this disease that they had no name for. Eventually, they came up with the name of COVID-19 because they didn't want to designate a place or an animal, or because they didn't want to, you know, stigmatize a group of people. And yeah, and there was a whole at the time there was a whole call. I remember there was a call or a feeling that the WHO, America did what to who? The WHO. I remember the WHO was like very slow to declare a international emergency, international health emergency, and then they took their time and they were very resistant. They just like, I think it was like pretty much in Italy and it was in Iran, it was in Italy, it was spreading, it was all over Asia for the most part. Uh, there were cases, human to human transfer, confirmed cases, community cases, not very large but very small, at least confirmed human to human community spread going on in different parts of the world. More than I would say 20. All right, more than 20 countries. They were small at the time. They just started out as one. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All the cases started out as like this, like 1, 2, 5. While that was going on in many countries by this time, the WHO would not declare a pandemic. All right, they just said, well, it's not a pandemic yet, and they even changed their definition of what a pandemic is. So America did what to who? Well, America has decided to, you know, not pay these people, not donate any more money. It's like having a security guard, right? Supposed to secure your car, your business, and they're sleeping on the job, and your place gets robbed, your car gets stolen. Do they really expect? Do they really expect to get paid? Um, anyways, America did what to who? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's what happened today. Just want to rant about that, and I'm glad because now instead of giving money to an organization that probably cares less about the world than about China, uh, America can use that money to heal the wounds, the suffering, the disease, what's going on in this country. All right. So I think that money is going to be put to a much, much better use in this country if we just divert money from donating to a WHO to putting money into this country. All right. So I think that's a good move. All right. Let's take a look at the numbers here. 605,193 total cases with 24,574 new cases. And it looks like the numbers, looks like Florida is back to normal. That was corrected. Thank goodness. Thank you, COVID.bio. You made that correction. Oh look, I got my halo back. All right. Awesome. It's amazing how that happens. Got my halo back. All right, so here we go. The number of death The number of death is 25,757 total death. The most of any country, the most cases of any country, the most death of any country. Should we be donating money to who? To who? I don't think so. Uh, that money needs to go to more needed things here in this country. So, oh my goodness, this is the highest death I've seen to as of date. Is this is the most death I've seen recorded anyway. 2,228 total new death today. That is the most I have seen today. This is what it looks like on a normal chart. Very different than that yesterday. That was 100,000 new cases. That was abnormal. There you go. It's still bending. It's still bending over, man. This is the longest bend I have ever seen, and it will probably be the longest bend that you will ever see. This is going to be an agonizing few to 15 days or how many. I don't want to. I don't want to even mention it. It's just going to be agonizing to see this. It's just going to be long and drawn out. All right, let's take a look at the map real quick. All right, Florida is back to normal. It's not that crazy out there, but you can see it's slowly spreading out. Like wherever this hot area is, New York, you can see it's spreading out to different areas, and it's just going to be a slow burn. Um, if we ever do go back to work, all right, it's going to be different. A lot of people are going to be wearing masks. A lot of people are going to be wearing masks. Um, is gloves that important? I don't know if gloves are important, but I think taking breaks just to wash your hands, taking often breaks, taking breaks often to wash your hands is going to be normal. It's going to be acceptable in the workplace. Possibly wearing gloves. Um, Definitely wearing face masks. And as far as the food service, I don't know if the food service is going to come back like it was before. A lot of people are scared. Probably, even if everything opened up, let's say everything just opened up, I seriously doubt that there's enough people to go back to work because uh, service, all right, services has been killed. Restaurant food business has been killed. So there's a lot of people who get employed through that. There's just a lot of businesses that I have a feeling, even if they wanted to open up, the employees may not want to go back. Going to work is a hazard now. So you either have to pay people more money to come back. Okay, you're gonna have to pay more people. You have to pay more money for people to come back. And on top of that, I don't know if the consumers want to go back. All right. I wouldn't want to go back. That's just my honest opinion. I wouldn't want to go back. I will buy things. I'm still gonna buy stuff, but if I go to the grocery store, I'm gonna be disinfecting everything. All right, whatever I buy, I disinfect everything. That's totally different. I should just walk through the door and put it away. Now I gotta like be paranoid and wonder if this grocery bag, this sandwich, this piece of whatever is going to kill me. I gotta worry about that. On top of going out and interacting with people. On top of that, right? Because it can be spread through fomite, droplets, micro droplets, fecal oral. Going to a public restroom can be hazardous. All right, things are different. Things are very different. We're going to be like paranoid. We're going to be super paranoid and super clean. Even if you did open everything up, there's no guarantee that the people want to go and work and want to go and consume. There's a serious risk in all of this. Anyways, let's go. Let's take a look at the numbers here. Um, let me go down. I mean, the numbers are whatever. I'm not focused on any particular state. I'm just focused on where I am. That is in Texas, and the numbers of new cases are increasing, or leveling off maybe, but the numbers are going up. I remember this. I remember like when this had one or two confirmed cases. Now it has like 15,000. This was like literally only less than a month, I think, or about a month, maybe even 3 to 4 weeks. No, I remember there was no death of COVID-19. Now there's 342 deaths of COVID-19. Am I in the right? Yeah, Texas. I'm focused on where I am. So pick a state wherever you are. Focus on that. If you're lucky to be in a state where it's small, lucky or unlucky, you know, if it's just beginning, expect it to last longer. If you're in the middle, you're halfway through. If you're towards the end, then, you know, you're over the hump. You're over the hump. Depends where you are, and depends how bad it was too. All right, so here it is. Wow, 2,228 new deaths in one day. That is the most. The previous was 2,108 deaths in one day. America has seen the most death in one day, the most cases, confirmed cases, and the most death overall. All right, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. And America did what to who? Why should we pay? Why are we wasting our money on who? On who? All right, so here it is. Here's the breakdown. I refreshed this the same time I refreshed this around 7 o'clock. So numbers may be a little bit off. Some haven't reported, but I'm just going to look at these top numbers. And if you look at it, it's, you know, it, it, it is what it is. I'm focusing on this right here. Whatever state you're in, you focus on it. But either case, it's not looking good. I already refreshed this. We're Texas is at 10%, maybe a little bit slightly lower than 10%, but 10%. It's bobbing up and down above around 10%. I hope it doesn't get any higher. Um, Numbers are just increasing. There's more clusters in different areas. The clusters are getting bigger, but it's not exponential. I think social distancing is working, but it is flattening the curve, but it is slowing the spread, but it's taking longer. And I don't know how people are going to go back to work. I don't know if people want to go back to work. You know, you have a choice: go back to work or potentially get infected and maybe die. You know, do people really want to go back to work? Since I don't work, it's a no-brainer for me. I'm not going anywhere. All right, so here are the numbers, and the death rate is increasing as the death increases. But if you look at this, like, America has the most cases and the most death in the world. And America did what to who? To who? Oh, anyways, I'm shaking my head right now. I think we could use that money for better uses here in America. So you can see what I'm talking about. And then if you look at the death rates of here state by state, it has been increasing. It will increase as time goes on. I remember when this used to be all in the 1%. They're all growing. Even Texas used to be in the 1%. Now it's in the 2%. It's just going to keep growing and growing. And that is the sad reality. Like, how many people died because of this? How many people died? So we won't know until the end, after everything is said and done. It's who knows? Who knows what the total amount is? But if you look at the world, let's take a look at the world. How many people have died around the world? Now remember, supposedly China only had 84,000 cases and only 3,000 deaths right? I mean, you know, lucky them. But if you look at the death, I mean, look how many deaths. Wow. So basically, where we are now is if it gets to 2 million, let me see, by 13, it's almost, for every 1 million cases, it's almost 65,000 people dead. How many people are there around the whole world? What is the death going to be like? I don't even know what the global population is. I might even I don't know what it is, but if you took that ratio of total cases, and now maybe it doesn't mean that the whole world would die. Maybe let's just take that ratio and just do it by half, because there's probably a lot of asymptomatic or mild symptomatic cases out there, that never got recorded or reported. But still, um, man, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Um, even if the ratio was half, because there's some reports that half the people out there, 50% of the people out there are asymptomatic or mild symptomatic. So if you took that ratio and you did it by half, and you extrapolated that to the global population, I wonder what number that would come out to. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I just thought about that right now. Based on these two numbers, total cases and then the death, if you did this by 50%, if you did the ratio by 50% and then applied it to the world, what would the number of deaths be total? And why not? We'll just include China. I mean, they're part of the population. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll put an overlay on this or something. Anyways, anyways, I'm not gonna make this too long a video. I just want to say America did what to who? That's what I wanted to say. That's the big headline for today. The next update, I think, is in 3 days, so I think April 16th will be the next update, April 16th or April 15th. I am waiting out 15 days now. I hope I can last that long. I hope I can last that long before I have to go to the grocery store. Going grocery shopping is a hazard now. People who work at groceries are getting infected and possibly even dying. I don't know, I don't know of one myself, but if you think about all the people who work there and I already know uh, they're getting infected, and they've been working there, so there's possible exposure. Going to the grocery store is a hazard. Going to the gas station is a hazard. Going to work is a hazard. Just going out is just dangerous. It feels that way. It seems like driving is safer. Driving without a seatbelt is safer than going out. Then again, if you're driving, you are going out. Anyways, let's see what the total number, if this has increased. It has. It has. Uh, 16 days till peak death. Now, if I have to go out to get groceries, I think, or if I, because it keeps extending, if I had to go out during the peak, I think I'm still okay, because supposedly you're not worried about getting infected during the peak, because by then people are already getting infected and should be going to the hospital, or they know they're sick by then, so they'll be self-isolating. The dangerous part, the most dangerous part is the 14 days or more before the peak, because that's when people are going to be probably asymptomatic or mild symptomatic and spreading the virus, and they don't know it. So as long as it's 15 or 14 days before the peak, I'm not really going to go outside. I think once it does hit peak and I'm short on my groceries or whatever supply, I think I'm still able to go out. I'll still be able to go out. I think I'll still be safe. Anyways, I'm going to conclude this episode. Please like, share, comment. Tell me what your strategy is if you have one. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let me know what you think of who. You know who I'm talking about, who. Anyways, bye bye.